Hey, it's John and Mike, brew-news.com, and we're talking New England style IPA because we're trying to round out the end of this year with some great videos. We had an Imperial Stout last week, and now it's all about NEIPA innovations. Mike told me what this is all about. He's basically like taking all the things that he's learned over the past, I don't know, 20 plus years, and it's all going into this one beer.
No pressure.
I'm selling it.
No pressure. No pressure.
No, I think he said like, well, we're going to talk about some hops that may be surprising for the style. I don't know if I'm paraphrasing at this point. And then also a simplification of the grain bill. So I'll let him talk as I start to enjoy this.
Yeah, so he's going to do some tasting and try to, let's see what kind of keywords he comes up with what the hop profile is like. But in the meantime, let me tell you the basic grist of this recipe. So this was, the full recipe will be in the descriptor for the YouTube video, but this is 10 pounds of Bryce brewer's malt, which is just straight up pale malt, two-row pale malt. It is 2.5 pounds of flaked wheat.
Nice.
Just going that route. And also just over half a pound of carapils. Now, I introduced this in there to help a little bit of I haven't really experimented with this a lot, so I'm going to incorporate it into a few more beers in the future, but just to help with some head retention when you're throwing all those adjuncts in there, right?
Yep.
Also, I like this. I think you like this. This recipe also has a pound of table sugar in it to help, you know, give me the amount of ABV I want, but also keep the body pretty light.
And dry it out a little bit.
Yep. And the first thing I'll say about the hopping is that there's just under 1 ounce, 21 grams of Nugget at 60 minutes.
Yes, just
a little bit.
A little bit of bitterness.
To drive a little bit of bitterness. And I think that was about 30 IBUs is what I had calculated that out.
IBUs?
IBUs.
Whoa.
And so I'll skip over the hopping regime, the rest of the hopping regime, just to say then fermentation was, I made a starter of A07 flagship from Imperial, but I wasn't totally sure how viable that was going to be. So I also mixed it with one other yeast, which we'll mention a little bit later. We'll see if you come up with some weird, I want to hear the flavor profiles first. I made this with tap water, I didn't get RO water for this because our tap water is high chloride ratio. Yes. So I balanced it back out with a little bit of gypsum, just so I had enough calcium in there because our water is pretty low in calcium.
Yeah.
5 grams of calcium in the kettle and about 5 grams in the mash. So so that's the basic thing. The original gravity on this was 1061. The finishing gravity on this was 1010. So the actual ABV on this is right around 7% actually. So
good.
Classic New England IPA pushing 7. I don't really usually make 7% beers, but this one's 7%. And so I guess I'll say this is that I did a hop stand, a whirlpool hop stand at 180 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes. So I boiled for 60 minutes. I chilled down to 180 degrees.
Let it sit.
Threw in my my magical blend of hops, and
I can't wait to hear what they are.
Right at the end, and then I fermented with my 2 yeasts, and I did not add any hops for biotransformation or during fermentation. I left it closed.
Yep.
I dry hopped in the keg, and those hops are still in the keg. There's a little bit of stuff floating around there, but that's because they're in the keg. So.
Okay. Well, on the nose, some citrusy notes, but I really want to talk about the flavor.
All right.
Because when I first let it, when it hits your lips, it's so good. The first taste is an overwhelming, to me, like an orange bomb, you know, like a nice, there's tangerine, but really kind of like your standard Valencia orange, you know, kind of navel orangey, with, you know, pithy sort of flavors coming through it. A little bit of creamsicle, like then it kind of finishes with a little bit of creamsicle.
Good.
So yeah, okay,
Good.
okay.
Good. Let's.
But it's like there's what. So yeah, it's like citrus forward. I wouldn't say like with just the note of that vanilla kind of creamsicle thing. There's none of your stone fruits. There's no your peaches. There's no tropical coconut, pineapple. You know, whatever. So.
All right, you ready for?
Yes.
I will
Tell
reveal.
me what it's all about. Is it El Dorado? Just
no. So it's a hop blend. It's three ounces total. So it's 1 ounce each. 1 ounce each of Cashmere hops.
Cashmere. Okay.
1 ounce of Wakatu.
Yep. Okay.
And 1 ounce of LupoMax Sabro.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So when you say creamsicle, I was wondering maybe he's picking up a little bit on that Sabro coconut
I think that's what
thing
is coming through.
And in my notes, when I actually wrote this recipe, this is called New England IPA Limey.
Huh.
Because these, so this, you're right on there with the citrus. I called it limey just as far as in my notes go, because each one of these hops, the hop descriptors in there, aside from saying like citrus, maybe herbal, whatever, the word limey appears in those. Sabro being the big, like, this weird
coconut
lime coconut thing, supposedly, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, depends on a lot of factors. So, yeah, so I like the aroma. I think I totally get everything I do totally agree with. There is like that big, bright, citrusy thing. To me, it does sort of present a little more orangey.
Yeah, okay.
I think, I can't remember if it's the Wakatu or the Cashmere. I think there is one mention of something berry-like in there. So I think when you bring that muted coconut, limey thing together with some blackberry essence, you could get like a Valencia orange type of thing out of it. What do you think about the overall bitterness quality?
It's present, but not overwhelming. No.
Yeah, well, I think it's well balanced.
Yeah.
It's fairly soft, right?
Yeah.
The one thing I don't get here, maybe you do. You mentioned pithiness a little bit, but I don't get a lot of green hop bite, and I think that's because I'm trying to do this New England IPA style for my own palate without I want to get plenty of hop character.
Yeah.
But I don't need to go to like a pound per barrel type hopping levels and also pick up all that green character, right? I just want the essential oil character to shine through enough. And that's why the recipe itself, the flaked wheat and the sugar and the carapels, is trying to just be enough to give you beer, but be in the background such that a lower hopping rate, but a quality hopping rate stands out.
Yep.
So a word on yeast. I was worried that the AO7 flagship that I made, even though I did the starter and it looked like it was coming around, I was worried that was going to be a little weak. So at the last minute, I decided to pitch one package of dry fermentus SO4.
Okay.
And the reason I did that, is because Treehouse is reported to be a blend of 3 yeasts. Predominantly, it's something in that London ale category.
Okay.
But then there's like I can't remember the name of the guy who there's a guy on Homebrew Talk, I think, who exhaustively wanted to clone Julius from Treehouse.
Yep.
He came up with this ratio, which is like 90% of primary yeast, and then just a touch of SO4, and an even smaller touch of like T85 or something like that. It's another fermented yeast, which is actually a slight Belgian strain.
Yeah.
All under the guise of generating this ester profile that really that's supposedly what Treehouse does to get there. Like that Julius, to me, Julius itself is sort of one of the top 3 original New England IPAs that is sort of, when you get it super fresh, it's transcendent.
Yeah, it's true.
You know? So I figured, you know what? I want to try that as a blend here too. The cool thing about adding SO4 to any yeast blend you get is that it flocculates and it grabs the other yeast too. And I've noticed that in other beers I've done in the distant past. But anyway, I like this. I love the color. The haze is good. It's actually hazier now that it's cold than when I pulled it out of the fermenter. And it could use a couple more days of carbonation, but overall I like the soft carbonation level. I can drink it, and it's not too bad.
No, it reminds me about, being a kid and going to school and your mom packs you an orange.
Yeah.
It's like the vivid orange, the flavors that would come from that particular piece of fruit that would be in my lunchbox.
Yep.
And I don't know why. Maybe because maybe my memory has turned that into something that's a lot stronger. Because I have oranges nowadays, and I'm like, they're not as vibrant as they once were.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's the quality of fruit has gone down, or just my memory has made my first experiences with oranges that much more great or like intense. So that's what every taste like even as it warms up a little bit, it's just like I'm just biting back into that orange. It's not the sweetness isn't there, but like everything that goes along with it, like the scent of the rinds, the actual the pulp and all that, it's all there. And that's why when you said lime, I was trying to like go back and see if it's there's like a slight a difference between lemon and lime and orange, and this is definitely orange to me.
I was a small part of me was thinking I'm going to make this with Sabro and I'm going to not like it at all. Yeah. And because a lot of people, I think Sabro is sort of a pretty polarized hop.
You like it or you don't.
You like it or you don't. And actually, in this application at least, it's done a really good job. I think this is the most satisfying New England IPA that I've made as far as for my palate goes, right? I mean, I think it's nice. It's just juicy enough, and I love the malt bill. I want to just make a beer with the same type of malt bill. I just think I love it, and that part of it's working for me, so it's great. I don't know if I needed the sugar in there because it's at 7%, and I'm not going to pound down 3 of these in a row, but or maybe 7, I don't know, but 3 of these in a row, but it's definitely, but it works. Yeah. And some people claim you want that higher alcohol to get better extraction of your dry hops. I don't remember if I said it, but it's the dry hop in the keg is another 1 ounce, 1 ounce, 1 ounce.
Okay,
I don't remember if I said that, but that's...
You didn't, you said it was in the keg, but...
It's 3 ounces at hop stand and 3 ounces at dry hop in the keg.
Much less than a pound per barrel, that's for sure.
Yep.
Excellent. This has been a wonderful trip down your NEIPA innovation. Certainly, like every time we put out one of those, smash videos where we talk about hops, eventually, maybe like in the last week of this year, I'll take the time to review all of those videos and then put together some kind of massive grid where we say like, this is the hop name, here's our thoughts, at the very least, and post that somewhere on our silly blog. Just to have it as a reference and then add to it as time goes on. But this is great. I'm glad that like you picked 3 varieties. It's sort of, they all sing together in the same lane, but the sum of their individual parts is greater than each of them. So it's a lovely beer, and I can't wait to be enjoying this through the winter time for sure.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you.
All right. So if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you do your own New England style IPA innovation, we'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Subscribe to our channel because it just gives us more confidence to do this each and every week. For John and Mike, brew-dudes.com, brew on.
Cheers.